Hi, hello, how are you? My name's Randy and I love to crochet, and today we'll be making a crochet mini football. Now, if you love crochet and you want like Christmas tutorials slash like great gift ideas, you should definitely subscribe because I will be making as many videos as I can with the time I work. So there's a lot to come Christmas wise and just like gifting idea wise. I hope I can do some great decorations. I do have a non-crochet tutorial coming out within the next day or two, which I'm really excited about, so definitely stay tuned. Also follow my Instagram to see all like the photos and short content of the stuff I make. Now, let's get started. So, a couple weeks ago, I made the jumbo football, and I know not everybody likes jumbo projects, so today I'm making a mini one. I am doing it a little different. I typically film this first and then do my tutorial, but today I decided to make it a little bit different and show you guys the finished product to start. So if you like what you see and want to make it, definitely stay tuned. I think this is pretty beginner friendly. We're using a yarn that's pretty easy to work with. This is Wool-Ease yarn. I had extra and I thought this would be a good tutorial slash project to do with it. This is, I don't remember what color, but it's like the brown color. You'll also need a little bit of cream of the same size yarn. So if you don't want to use this yarn, you can use whatever one you prefer. But you definitely want the same size yarn for the cream because I tried smaller and it didn't turn out so well. So I'm just using scrap yarn. Like I said, this Wool-Ease is very easy to work with and it works up very quickly and nice and chunky. You'll need stuffing. You'll need appropriate size hook. I used a 9mm for this. You'll need some scissors. You'll need a stitch marker and a yarn needle. And that's it. This is a low sew because you just embroider very little on here. So if you're starting out with embroidery, this is a great project to start that with. But with that being said, let's get started. I'm going to start like I would for any project by doing a magic ring. You can do it however it works best for you. I will be doing 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. Then I'll go into my first and pull it through as a stitch so I have a loop. Then I'm going to do 6 stitches into the center. So every time I'm going to go into the very center of my ring and do 6. So I have 3, 4, 5, and 6. I do have this like lump, but if you pull your yarn, that goes away. So if you get that lump like I did, just pull your yarn and it will work itself out. I had to grab my my stitch marker, and I'm gonna go into my first loop here and do a single crochet stitch, which I'll be using the entire time. Because of the shape I want, I am going to still do like the usual 2 stitches into one. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you'll have 12 stitches in total for this round. Now I'm back to the start, so I'm going to do 2 stitches into my first, marking my very first stitch. It's very easy to see these stitches compared to when I typically use fluffy yarn. And I'm going to do a single stitch, then 2 stitches into the next, then a single stitch, then 2 stitches into the next. And I'm going to go all the way around doing that. And I think you should have 18 stitches is the total. And I don't want it flat. I am kind of getting this shape here for the football. Then a single stitch, and then double. And you should always end on a single stitch. So you should be able to finish your putting 2 stitches into one, and then a single, or if you're doing, once you get all the way around, we're going to go back into our first stitch here. And we're just going to do a single crochet into every stitch because I want to make this small. And it's definitely easy with this chunkier, thicker yarn to make it big. So I'm just going to go a single stitch into every stitch all the way around.
So now we're on the arm.
This is how it looks so far. So I'm going to do a certain amount of rows or rounds, and then I'll tell you how many rounds of staying the same I do before we curve it back in. So I did a total of 4 rounds staying the same. So we did 1 together and then I did 3 more. And now we're going to start reducing. So I'm going to remove my stitch marker real quick. And I'm going to go into my first stitch, pull my yarn through, then go into my second stitch, pull my yarn through, and create 1 single stitch. And this is going to just be the opposite of our last one. So I'm going to do a single stitch, and then I'm going to go into my first one, pull my yarn through, go into the second one, pull my yarn through. So I have 3 loops on into 2 stitches, pull through to make a single stitch, then a single stitch, then reduce again, a reducing one where I go through 2, then a single stitch. And I'm going to do that all the way around till I get back to the start. I'm going to keep reducing exactly the opposite of what I did on when I was expanding. So this time I'm going to, if I can, remove my stitch marker, go into my first stitch, into the second stitch, and reduce. Mark my first stitch, and then I'm going to reduce every stitch. So I'm going to go into each stitch, then the next one, and reduce all the way around. I went ahead and stuffed it. You want to make sure you stuff it firmly. This would be a great project to also do like weighted beads where you kind of have like a little paperweight, but it's up to you. I just use regular stuffing. I'm going to put a little bit more after this one. And I am going to do another round where I just do 6 stitches. I have 6 stitches right now for my reducing because I'm going to try and get this like out piece. Actually, you know what? I think I am going to reduce again. So we're going to reduce down to 3 stitches. So we're going to, because we're trying to get that out piece, so I'm going to reduce 2 stitches down to 1. And then I'm going to go to the next one, reduce 2 stitches down to 1. I know you can't see. And then do it one more time through these 2, and then we're going to seal it up. So once again, go in through here. It's hard when it's down to this size. Reduce down to 3 stitches. If I can get in there. There we go. And now we kind of have this poking out piece. Once you have created a round of 3, you're going to cut your yarn, pull it through, and now we're just going to stitch it down into kind of like that shape. It's a little bit like lemon shaped right now, but we're going to flip it, do that. So we have the general shape, and now we're going to add our white detailing to help give it the real look of a football here. Once you get your yarn onto your needle, you can also kind of fill in these gaps as well. I'm going to kind of weave through here and fill in my gaps with my yarn. So we have like a nice solid piece. Gonna go back this way. Just kind of loop around until my gaps are a little bit fuller and not having these big openings, which if you have any tips that really help seal up your crochet, I am open to them. I feel like every once in a while, especially with working with like thicker yarn like this, I just end up with these huge gaps. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna kind of like mush and shape it a little bit because like I said, it's a little lemony right now. But once I seal up my yarn here and tie it off, weave in the end, we're gonna get out our cream yarn and we will add our detailing, which I think will make the world of a difference here. So I'm gonna pull my yarn through and then tuck in the fluffiness right there. And now let's get out our cream and add our detailing. All right, so I'm gonna add my detailing. I tried to use this thinner acrylic, but it just did not look good. So we're gonna go to the same amount here. You can see I still have a piece that's sticking out. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 in and go about a little over halfway, go straight across to the other side. Oh, I lost my yarn here. Just leave a little bit out. Got my yarn back in here and I'm gonna go straight onto the same spot I was at. And I'm gonna go back across evenly to 1, 2, 3, on, in. Oop, there we go. And I'm gonna pull my yarn through, but not too much because I don't want to lose my spot over here. And then I'm going to kind of measure out straight across here, and then I'm going to go in where my mistake yarn is. But don't pull too tight because it kind of gets a weird angle on it. That actually I think is not centered, but that's okay for right now. And we're going to pull our yarn all the way through, because with how thick this is, I don't think it'll work with striping, but there we go. So I'm gonna get rid of this, I'm gonna weave my ends in, and then we got a little mini football. And to tie off my ends, I pulled my yarn back through my starting piece here. I'm going to tie it off. Make sure you're through like the same hole. You can see I am because the tie sunk in. Then I'm actually going to take my hook, weave into that same spot, and pull the yarn in slowly so I don't poke it out. But you can see I got it through, and then I'm going to go in, pull my yarn in slowly. You can also use a smaller hook for this and get it where it is hidden inside of our work. And there we go. It is not super detailed by any means, but this is like a nice, easy, beginner-friendly, like if you want something other than an animal plush to make. It's small, it does like the job, you know what I mean. But yeah, so there it is. And it's like hand-sized. I'm gonna give this to my boyfriend so he can put it on his desk. Can be like a stress ball type thing. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you should definitely subscribe to my channel, follow my Instagram, and hang out for all the tutorials I have coming out for you. Bye!